Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabor.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Coming up tonight, controversy over intended transport fare increment as GPRTU rejects 20% increment despite announcement from its mother body.
Minority in Parliament rejects new cocoa producer price for the next cocoa season, describing it as deception and a fraud.
Also coming up, President Mahama charges African leaders to build a resilient and self-sufficient health system.
In business news, importers and exporters describe disconnection of Ghana Revenue Authority from Identity Verification Service platform as shameful as members face demurrage charges.
On the international front, Cameroon's Constitutional Council upholds decision to reject the candidacy of Paul Biya's main rival, Maurice Kamto.
We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
And we are starting from issues of transport, and the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has rejected a 20% increase in transport fares announced by the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, insisting it was not consulted. The GRTCC says the fare adjustment set to take effect on Thursday, August 8, 2025 is due to the 1 cedi fuel levy and the rising cost of spare parts. Gabriel Jackson has more on this report.
The Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council says from August 8, commuters should brace for a 20% increase in transport fares. In a press release issued, the council attributes the increment to the newly introduced 1 cedi fuel levy and what it describes as the unbearable cost of spare parts on the market. The fare adjustment comes just 3 months after fares were reduced by 15% in May 2025, following a drop in fuel prices in a temporary stabilization of the cedi. But the move has sparked controversy. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union has rejected the announcement, insisting it was not consulted. The union says it will not comply with the new fare directive until proper stakeholder engagement is done. Public Relations Officer at the GPRTU, Abbas Imoro, says the move from GRTCC is politically motivated.
That is coming from GRTCC. We are not part of that. Normally, the two of us signs a communique, but I believe they are seriously into politics this time, so they went solo, not at all. Until our leadership speaks, we shall dwell on what our leadership says. We are not part of what GRTCC come up with. We are not part of that.
Some drivers, however, maintain the move from GRTCC as a positive move and will help drivers cater for their losses.
It's good for the drivers to have an increase, and it should be more understandable so that we can manage ourselves. And I think it's a good idea because as of me, I'm a transport driver. I do trotro. Sometimes you may go to the market, you want to buy something, the price is high, but what you work is too small. So at least we need that increasement for our job to be good for us, because we have a family attend to.
Some passengers and traders share their thoughts on the move by GRTCC.
The problem should be tackled from its main source, because at the end of the day, it ends up affecting our daily lives. And then now it's going to 20%, meaning it's going to be an extra cost than what we are currently used to now. So I think maybe something should be done about it.
But there has been a reduction, so everything will be easy. But now that they've increased the, I think
it will cause more harm than good.
It won't help us because we are from distant vicinity, so increasing the transport fares won't favor us. So government should help us. Bills are okay now, and if transport fares are reduced, we can also reduce the prices on goods.
The standoff raised uncertainty over what passengers will actually pay come Thursday as negotiations between the two key unions remain unresolved.
And in the midst of the controversy surrounding the new fare increments, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, has waded into this argument, siding with the GPRTU in rejecting the increments. Duncan Amoah is the Executive Secretary of COPEC and joins me on phone. Duncan, thank you so much for your time. First of all, is the 20% proposed fuel transport hike justifiable?
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having me. I doubt any well-meaning Ghanaian would encourage what the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council is seeking to do. In view of the current economic circumstances prevailing within country, and then again, even the matrices that inform the computation of transport fares at this point would not suggest to anybody well-meaning to think of increasing transport fares. I say this on the back of the fact that just a year ago, if you do the year-on-year comparative analysis of even your fuel pricing, you would realize that even with the introduction of the new 1 Ghana levy per litre, prices that Ghanaians pay for fuel as of today, you are still about an average of 1 Ghana cedi 60 better than exactly a year ago today. Again, for diesel, you are about 50, 60, 70 pesos better than you did pay for a year ago. And so if someone says that the cost of the variables that informs the computation of transport fares is bad, and for which reason we should go and increase transport fares, the numbers do not suggest so. The cost of parts, if you speak to the Abosokai spare parts dealers, they will give you an indication that it has gone up by some 20-30%. And so that would mean that if I bought a car tire previously for 600, a used tire, I'm likely to get it for 500 today. If I bought brake bands for 200, it is likely I'll get it for 150 today. So if you put these together, coupled with the fact that there's a general inflationary decline within country, it becomes quite difficult to see how anybody would wake up rightfully or justifiably to say that I am not even looking at 10% increase in transport fares or something, or a decline further, but I'm looking at an adjustment upward. I think that it is ill-conceived. It must not be entertained. I am happy that subsequent to our statement, the transport operators, if you look at the Ghana Transport Operators Forum, they have issued a statement also condemning what the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council is seeking to do. So it is quite unpopular, not just with those of us at the civil society front, but even the transport operators themselves, including the GPRTU. I had a chance to confer with the national chairman of the GPRTU today, and he indicates they have not come to such a decision. They would not agree to any such decision to impose hardships on Ghanaians. So I wonder what would make a section of the driving, community want to impose the hardships that Ghanaians are running away from by asking GUTA, by asking automobile dealers of Ghana, by asking the other economic bodies to reduce the cost of goods and services. Then you get the drivers coming up to say they are going to increase. I think that statistically, they will be wrong. Morally, they would have no justification at all at this point to impose the kind of hardship they want to impose.
Quickly.
Their statement it looks as though this is quite an emotional thing. It's a bit political, but clearly the numbers we have cannot support a transport fare adjustment at this
before
point.
You go, should this proceed on Friday? What action is COPEC taking?
We will be surprised if after the engagement back and forth, we are engaging them equally. We will be surprised if they proceed, because COPEC is one of the bodies that has consistently supported the driver unions anytime they have had to go up. Because sometimes you are quite aware that the driver will probably get out to work the whole day and will go home with nothing. But you are dealing with a certain time frame within which the matrices are positive. And so you cannot come and still demand further. When we allow you to get away with this, we are simply telling Guta and the Abosokai spare parts people to go ahead and increase their prices, because, of course, even without justification, others are able to increase. And I don't think that they should go ahead on Friday. But if they do, I can assure you that whatever illegal remedies that exist, we would explore that. Whatever confrontation that exists also, even within the law enforcement space, we would enforce that, because Ghanaians are simply not looking for hardships at this time, simply because of somebody's emotive discussions or emotive. They are not happy about the fact that somebody didn't consult them before 1 Ghana cedi was added to fuel. Again, the roads are bad. But these are not the solutions to the problems that they are conversing for.
Your time.
And I think that
we do not have enough time to continue, but we do appreciate you joining us on News 360. Duncan Amwa, Executive Secretary of COPEC.
Right, let's go on to one of the big conversations that have been happening in the country over the last 24 to 48 hours. It has to do with cocoa. The minority in Parliament has rejected the new cocoa producer price for the next cocoa season, describing it as a deception and fraud. The caucus observed that government is deliberately taking farmers for granted despite their contribution to the economy. They want the Ministers of Finance and Agriculture to render an apology for failing to honor their campaign promise.
The Finance Minister on Monday announced that the increment represents 70% of the gross free-on-board value of $7,200 per ton, one which aligns with President Mahamad's promise to cocoa farmers. But the minority on the Food, Agric and Cocoa Affairs Committee would not have any of that. They have taken government to the cleaners and demanded justifications.
You agree with me that our hard-working cocoa farmers deserve better than this Sakawa price. Today, the Ivorian farmer at the current exchange rate is receiving the equivalent of 3,635 Ghana cedis per bag of 64 kilos, a staggering 407 Ghana cedis more than what Cocoa Board is paying. This stark difference presents an irresistible incentive for smugglers to divert Ghanaian cocoa across the border.
Whether or not the Ghana Cocoa Board is insolvent, the minority have a simple request. They want government to account for the revenue Cocoa Board made in the 2024-2025 season.
What they have failed to tell Ghanaians is how much revenue Cocoa Board had generated from cocoa sales in the 2024-25 season. Is that amount in excess of 3 billion? And at the time, the exchange rate was 15 Ghana cedis to $1. And I do that's in the Denebo Ebemano. But then, apart from a bra, me wu ya, me yure hopa, and run it no crane maker, and run it down, me yure hopa. If you say,
the minority has urged the government to stop the lamentation and deliver its promises. Eric Opoku wants the Agric Minister to go back to the farmers and apologize to them. He also wants the Finance Minister, who controls the purse, to cough up money to redeem this promise which they made to the farmers. He believes that it is totally unacceptable to give the farmers such a raw deal.
Is this figure of 3,228.75 per bag, Is it what His Excellency was referring to when he said cocoa farmers will be very, very, very happy when the producer price is announced in August? Honorable Eric Opoku will have to go back to Dadia Swaba and apologize unreservedly for his failed promise. Fortunately, Honorable Atuforsen is now the finance minister. He controls the purse. He has to find the money to pay what he promised.
It is a conversation that will not settle anytime soon. Fused with politics, economic and welfare concerns, the perspectives will continue to differ. But in the end, how much the farmer takes home is all that matters. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
Meanwhile, some cocoa farmers in the Ashanti region have expressed frustration over the recent 128 cedi increase in farm gate price of cocoa, calling it insufficient to alleviate their financial struggles. The adjustment announced by the finance minister for the 2024-2025 season has been met with widespread disappointment.
Two price raises farm gate rate from 3,100 Ghana cedis to 3,229 cedis per bag. But many farmers say this increment is negligible compared to the promise the government made to them.
I don't think really anybody will appreciate this. If you promised me 6,000 and you couldn't even give me 6,000, at least 4,000 or 5,000 could have done. But to increase the cocoa price by 128 cedis, by announcing FOB, what? Did they consider FOB and the rate of the dollar before they announced that the cocoa price should have been 6,500 and 7,000?
Farmers report that the cost of key inputs such as fertilizers and pesticides have been squeezing their already thin profit margins. Some fear that the meager price adjustment could lead to increased smuggling of cocoa to neighboring countries, offering better prices, and also reduce production, as farmers may abandon cocoa for more lucrative crops.
If I'm at the border with Ivory Coast, I don't think I'll sell my cocoa in Ghana. I'm asking Dr. Atuforsen, you should set up a foundation, a Two Austin Foundation, and I will donate 128 cedis, 75 pesos to him for every bag of cocoa that I'll harvest this year, so that I'll let him know that without his 128 cedis, 75 pesos, I will survive.
I currently own a 4.5-acre cocoa farm, but I'm considering selling it to explore other business opportunities, as cocoa farming has not been as profitable as expected. Without better compensation, the cocoa farmers say Ghana risks losing them to alternative livelihoods, threatening the country's cocoa dominance in the long run. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Ashanti region.
Right, so clearly the conversation has gone, in different ways and tangents. But what we are here to do is to try and let you have a fair idea of how cocoa pricing has been over the years and how between 2022 and 2025 there has been a sharp increase in how much cocoa farmers are paid. So as far back as 2015, the last about 10, 11 years, the pricing of cocoa per bag has been relatively stable. So especially between 2015, when it went up by just 50 cedis, it went to 475. And that amount was sustained between 2016 and 2018. Coming 2019, saw a marginal increase. 2020 and 2021, same pricing. But between 2021 and 2022, there was another sharp increase. But the sharpest happened between 2022 and 2024 ending. And why has this been so? This has been so because between 2015 and around 2020, the cedi-dollar ratio had been fairly stable. So, a cedi to the dollar wasn't as huge. Now, the jump came in between 2022 and 2024, when you needed about 16 cedis, depending on where you exchange your rates at, you needed about 16 or 17 cedis to get $1. And that in itself was one of the reasons that influenced how much a bag of cocoa sold for. So you could tell that from 2022, where a bag was sold for 800 cedis, just a year after, it was sold for over 2,000 Ghana cedis. That's quite a huge jump. Again, between 2022 and 2023, we saw another huge jump. So we had 2,070 Ghana cedis per bag to 3,100 per bag. And this was when we had the cedi's biggest depreciation as against the dollar. Coincidentally, if you look at between 2024 and 2025, the last few months, the cedi has appreciated quite well against the dollar, where now you need about 10 cedis to get $1. If the theory here is anything to go by, where we have had a stable relationship between the two currencies, and you compare it to this period when there was a vast gap, naturally, this increment will make sense depending on which side of the political divide you're at. But farmers, politicians are all having a say about the cocoa pricing. And what we are just here to do is to let you understand that the relationship between our local currency and the foreign trading currency, especially the dollar, has a massive effect or impact on how much cocoa is sold. So that's how come now government has increased it from just 3,100 to 3,228, where people or some farmers are disagreeing with. So that's just a fair perspective or context to the pricing of the last window for cocoa.
Thank you so much, Martin. Let's now go to the Upper East region. And after almost 2 weeks of closure due to a violent attack that claimed the life of a student, final year students of the Bawku Senior High School have begun returning to campus to write the WASI. Today, the visual arts practical examinations kicked off with all 95 registered students present. Castro Sanyala has more.
On Sunday, July 27, authorities temporarily closed down the Bawku Senior High School following a violent gun attack that claimed the life of a student. The closure was aimed at containing the situation and to allay fears which had gripped the entire school community. While the closure was seen as a necessary safety measure, it came at a critical time when final year students were preparing to sit for the West African Senior School Certificate examination. Following high-level deliberations and a blood cleansing ritual by the traditional authority, the school has now been partially reopened, strictly to allow final year students to write their exams under enhanced security.
The campus, we are safe. Yesterday that I reported, when I came, I saw the militaries around. So they were taking care of us. We're safe here.
All the places get free. The security are here guiding and protecting us. They go once in a while around the campus. So we are begging our colleagues, those who are in the house, to report back to school, and we will focus on our work.
I just arrived and I see that our campus, we are safe. I can see militaries around, so I can encourage my colleagues that are in the house to come without fear. We are safe.
So far, over 400 of the 703 registered WASI candidates have reported back to school with new security deployment and measures in place. The headmaster of the school, Reverend Abogbila Bukari, is appealing to the Ghana Education Service to reopen the school for full-fledged academic work.
So far, yesterday we had 319 students reporting for the first day that we reopened. As at now, we have exceeded 400. I can say that the place is safe. We have put in place a number of measures. Now we have 24-hour police service on campus. All the gates leading into the school have been locked. I can confidently say that the school is safe. Look, if the school wasn't safe, the teachers would have been the first to react.
Whether or not his appeal will be taken on board, time will tell. For TV3 News, Castro Sinyala, Bawku, Upper East Region.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has charged African leaders to build a resilient and self-sufficient health system which aligns with national priorities for health sovereignty. The president was speaking at the African Health Sovereignty Summit, which was held in Accra.
Africa Health Sovereignty Summit brought together African heads of state, policymakers and global health stakeholders to discuss and endorse the Accra Initiative, a bold roadmap for reforming global health governance, fostering a new era of health sovereignty rooted in national ownership, investment and leadership. The summit has become necessary as a result of the urgent need for an overhaul of the current global health framework, which no longer reflects today's geopolitical realities.
The shift reflects clear feedback we receive from governments, partners, and communities across the continent that called for a more flexible, inclusive, and dynamic approach to healthcare sovereignty.
Former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, would want the expansion and enhancing of the national health insurance schemes across member African states.
And 25% of our health insurance fund can be used to manage our health architecture and go into health infrastructure.
The Director General of the WHO is of the view Africa does not need charity, but rather fair tariffs.
We must all adjust to this new reality. But in this crisis lies an opportunity to shake off the yoke of aid dependency and embrace a new era of sovereignty, self-reliance, and solidarity.
In his opening remarks, President Mahama emphasized the need for Africa to take charge of its health destiny, stressing that the continent must no longer be a passive recipient of aid, but instead take full ownership of its health agenda.
Africa must no longer be the patient. It must be the driver. It must be the author. It must be the architect and the advocate of its own health destiny. And I extend an open invitation to all nations represented here to join us in building an African health investment ecosystem that is driven by purpose and is powered by equity and anchored in our sovereignty.
Key outcomes of the summit include launch of the sustained initiative endorsement of the Accra Compact and creation of a presidential high-level panel to develop a reform agenda for global health governance aligned with national and international efforts.
Now, in the last few minutes, we've had a letter from the office of the EOCO, that is the Office of Economic Crime and the Office of Organized Crime. EOCO has released a letter about a popular Ghanaian musician known as Shatta Wale or Charles Niama. So let's go straight to some of the key issues being raised in the letter. Now, the letter is headlined "Search and Retrieval of Proceeds of Crime from Home of Charles Niama, aka Shatta Wale." And part of the letter says that in June this year, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, acting on a 2023 request from the FBI in the U.S., undertook an operation which led to a lawful search in the home of Shatta Wale, which is at Trasacco Valley, Phase 1 in Accra. The operation, which was undertaken by Surveillance and Asset Recovery Unit of EOCO, discovered and seized a 2019 Lamborghini Urus, which the FBI and the Justice Department have tied to the proceeds of the criminal enterprise of a gentleman known as Nana Kwabena Amwa, who is currently serving an 86-month sentence for several financial crimes in the U.S. The car was seized from one Charles Niama, a.k.a. Shatta Wale. The officers were professional and civil, and the search and seizure occurred without incident. Niama had pleaded with the officers that he did not want the seizure to be made public because the vehicle was a big part of his brand, and that if his supporters saw the vehicle being driven away in the company of EOCO, it would destroy his brand. And on the back of that, they came to an agreement between Shatawale and the EOCO officers, and eventually the vehicle was sent to EOCO, which, according to the letter, they are putting plans in place to send the vehicle back to the United States. But if you've been on social media, I'm sure many of you have seen Shatawale posting about why officers wielding guns came to his house from EOCO to search. And so that's just a response from EOCO regarding those social media posts. It's a developing story. We'll definitely update you. If you go to our website, you get the full text of the letter from EOCO as well.
You're watching News 360 live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. We have business news coming up shortly. Do stay with us.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there's so many other charcoal toothpaste. There's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here. Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally. Convinced? Well, I am. Just look
reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Let's do business now, shall we? The Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has described the disconnection of the Ghana Revenue Authority from the identification verification system by the National Identification Authority as shameful. Executive Secretary of the Association, Samson Asaki Awingobit, noted that the move is having immediate and severe effect on the association's members, particularly at the country's ports, causing significant delays and business disruption.
The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, was disconnected from the Identity Verification Service, IVS platform, by the National Identification Authority, NIA, over non-payment of usage fees in excess of 376 million cedis. The IVS platform is a critical part of the process for clearing goods at the ports. Without the ability to verify the identities of individuals and businesses, the GRA's Customs Division cannot process the necessary paperwork for imports and exports. This has left many business owners stranded, leading to significant delays in the clearance of goods at the ports.
I think that this is a shame. They should apologize to Ghanaians, especially those who wanted to clear their cargo at the port. Because of this banter between NIA and GRA, you have to end up paying demurrage and rent. Many importers' cargo are running to demurrage if they cannot verify it by NIA, GRA on the NIA system before you can proceed to do the entrance.
The situation creates a great deal of uncertainty for the business community. Without a clear timeline for the restoration of services, importers and exporters are left in limbo, unable to plan their logistics and supply chains effectively.
The Minister of Interior, and I want to call on Minister of Finance that these two ministries, they should communicate so that they can build rapport and they can call their agency head to order and get other GRA Commissioner General to pay to NIA, because we cannot be using my system and will not be paying me.
The NIA has stated that the disconnection is a measure of last resort due to the severe financial strain it is facing from unpaid debts from various government institutions.
In more business news this evening, South Africa's largest grocery retailer, Shoprite Holdings, has announced it is selling its operations in Ghana and Malawi, a move that marks yet another step in its withdrawal from several African markets. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the retail giant said it had received a bidding offer in June for its 7 stores and 1 warehouse in Ghana, with the sale described as highly probable.
In Malawi, an agreement was signed on June 6 to sell 5 stores pending regulatory approvals from the country's Competition and Fair Trading Commission and the Reserve Bank of Malawi. A report by Reuters noted that the decision forms part of Shoprite's broader strategy to consolidate its operations and focus more on its South African base, which remains its largest and most profitable market. Shoprite had previously embarked on an aggressive expansion drive across the continent, becoming Africa's leading supermarket chain, operating in about 15 countries at its peak. However, challenges such as currency instability, high inflation, import duties, and dollar-dominated rents have made operations in several countries unsustainable. The company has already exited Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Madagascar, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In Ghana, Shoprite has faced stiff competition from both local and regional players, along with operational difficulties. The company had also limited investments in its foreign branches, opting to redirect capital toward strengthening its South African presence. Despite the exits, Shoprite said it anticipates strong performance from its remaining operations. The group expects headline earnings per share to rise between 9.4% and 19.4% for the 52 weeks ending the first half of the year, while sales from continuing operations are projected to grow by 8.9% to $14 billion. As of Tuesday morning, Shoprite shares had dropped by 2.6% on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange following the announcement.
Absa Bank Ghana has taken a significant step towards improving healthcare delivery in the country by commissioning a borehole at the Nungwa Lekma Polyclinic. This initiative aims to provide a reliable source of water for the polyclinic, enhancing its ability to deliver quality healthcare services to the community.
This year alone, Absa Bank Ghana has contracted 21 boreholes across the country. The borehole is a welcome development for the Lekma Polyclinic, as it is expected to alleviate the water challenges faced by the polyclinic. This will enable the facility to provide uninterrupted healthcare services. Member of Parliament for Krowo and Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomulate, commended the bank for the initiative.
You get hired for a purpose. You go home and then you realize that your energy has been spent on something very worth its while, and then the impact you make in people's life goes a long way to give you some fulfillment. The people of Krowo, all opinion leaders, traditional leaders, religious leaders, myself, we are grateful.
Managing Director for Absa Bank, Dr. Edward Nate Boche, said the commissioning is part of its corporate social responsibility.
For us, this borehole is not just a project, it is a promise. A promise that will continue to invest not just in buildings and profit, but also to invest in people and in the communities in which we do operate. We envision a future where clean water is accessible in every community in Ghana, where every child is able to access clean water, where banks are known not just for profit, but also for the impact that we make.
Medical Superintendent of the Nungwa Lekma Polyclinic, Dr. William Ochre-Frimpong, also expressed his excitement over the project.
This intervention from Absa would ensure that we have constant, reliable water, and also save us the costs that we incur from having to buy from tankers every now and then.
Well, let's find out how the Ghanaian cedi is pairing up with the other foreign trading currencies and also the commodities market. That's it for business on News360. Stay with us. Sports is up next.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. We amplify. Behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
You buy Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. We do start off with our first story where former Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey has been granted conditional bail after being charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. The 32-year-old Ghanaian appeared at the Westminster Magistrates Court on Tuesday morning. We have more details for you in the following report.
Partey is free to keep working as a footballer after he was granted conditional bail following his first appearance in court on charges of 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. Dressed in black jumper, Partey muttered thank you to the judge after he was told he was free to go on conditional bail. He is due to reappear in court on September 2nd. The trial lasted for 15 minutes. The alleged offences for which he is standing trial allegedly took place between 2021 and 2022. The 32-year-old, who is on the verge of a move to Villarreal, has previously denied all charges leveled against him. The bail conditions for Partey are: he is not allowed to contact any of the women involved in the case. He must notify the police of any address changes. Partey must notify police of international travelling. He must also turn up to the next court appearance at the Old Bailey in September.
Well, we'll definitely keep you up to date on how that case goes. But to some more stories where FIFA has confirmed the dates for the next round of matches in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Ghana will play 2 matches against Chad and Mali in September before wrapping up the qualifiers later in October. I remember that the Black Stars will take on Chad on match day 7 and host Mali in their match day 8 fixture. On Chad on match day 7 and host Mali in their match day 8 fixture. Otoado's side will start Olympic Marshal Idriss Déby Stadium on Thursday, September 4, before hosting Mali at the Accra Sports Stadium on Monday, September 8. Ghana currently sit top of Group I, 3 points ahead of second place Comoros and 5 points clear of third place Madagascar, following 5 wins and 1 loss in 6 matches. Remember that the winner of the group automatically qualifies for the 2026 World Cup. To our special story for tonight, where police ladies as well as 6 other regional champions in Wafu Zone B will assemble at the Charles Conan Bani Stadium in Yamoussoukro from August 23 to September 5, 2025. My colleague Akosua has been following Ghana's representative police ladies and put together this report as they continue their preparations.
Police ladies are on a quest to be the 3rd Ghanaian women's team to represent Ghana at the CAF Women's Champions League, a feat Hazakis ladies and Ampem Dakwa attained in 2021 and 2023. But before they reach the Champions League, the 2024 Ghana Women's Premier League side will have to book the sole slot available by winning the 2025 Wafu B Championship. This tournament serves as qualifiers for the CAF Women's Champions League. Police ladies will be seeing off competition from 6 other champions, including Bayelsa Queens of Nigeria, ASEC Mimosa Ladies of Côte d'Ivoire, Association Sportive de la Garde Nationale of Niger, Union Sportive des Forces Armées of Burkina Faso, Togo's Association Sportive de la Cosa, and Sam Nelly from Benin. Police ladies assistant coach Abu Hassim has set a number of objectives, including winning the ultimate in Yamoussoukro.
To qualify for the Champions League proper, to win gold, we have some reinforcement, to beef up with the squad, about 4 players. And then in the tanker department, we have Coach Yusuf Bazigi.
Meanwhile, the 2024 Ghana Women's Premier League champions have augmented their squad ahead of the championship. They have named 2021 CAF Women's Champions League Wafu B Zonal Qualifiers winner Yusuf Basigi as their new head coach. Coach Yusuf Basigi is optimistic of a success in his reign.
I am here to serve Mother Ghana because police ladies are representing Ghana for the Wafu tournament. And once I'm home, I see the need to come and help them so that we both do the needful.
Having played for police ladies for over a decade and standing tall as some of the most experienced players of the side, Captain Mary Beck, forward Jean Enyam and Alberta Saki are optimistic of adding a Champions League feat to their laurels.
Since we came to camp, almost 2.5 months, we have been training and then playing some series of friendly matches, and then the results was good for us, so we have prepared well.
As you can see, we are training hard to go and make a mark there. Going into the tournament, Ghanaians should expect my very best. As I said, the old Alberta is back, and then the entire team, we are going to put up our best.
The championship is scheduled for August 23rd to September 4th, 2025 in Yamoussoukro, Côte d'Ivoire.
Well, that was a report put together by my colleague Akosua, bringing an end to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Oreku Ampofu.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. Keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time. We use none other than Kel Chaco toothpaste. Kel Chaco toothpaste. You want to catch it and then it one.
Some of candy need a who be here, some make us a papadia to a mammy man for Kel Chaco's natural ingredients. And a bomb is.
Policy development and collaboration to boost tourism and the creative arts as key pillars of the economy. The board, made up of professionals from diverse fields, pledged a commitment to advancing the sector. The event was attended by ministry officials, GTA representatives, and stakeholders from the tourism and creative arts industry. The inauguration comes at a crucial time as Ghana seeks to boost economic growth through tourism and cultural heritage initiatives. Grammy-nominated Nigerian singer Ira Star would headline the 2025 Afro Nation Festival in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, alongside Sexy Red and DJ Maforisa. The festival, set for November 7 to 9, will also feature Afrobeat stars like Shali Poppy and Ruger. 2025 has been a landmark year for Ira Star, marked by major festival performances, a global tour with Coldplay, and several awards, including the BET Award for Best International Act and 2 Mobile Awards. She also made history as the first Nigerian female artist to surpass 1 billion views on YouTube.
Time now for international news.
The candidacy of Maurice Kamto, the main rival to President Paul Biya, in a presidential election on October 12. The Electoral Commission in July excluded Kamto from the list of candidates approved to contest the votes. It said Kamto was barred because he was running under the banner of another party, which also supported a second candidate. Human Rights Watch said in a statement last week that the Electoral Board's decision to exclude Kamto raised concerns about the credibility of the electoral process.
And that's it for our package this evening. Remember that at 9 p.m., Beatrice Edu will come your way with Agenda. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Portia. Gabor do join Alfredo Kansa at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.